What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy, Myron McRae, a.k.a. Tornado McRae across the skies of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. And happy Tuesday to all of y'all. Hope y'all having a great Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday, so go get you some tacos. Make sure you are having a good time. And honestly, just make sure you have a great day, man. I hope everything goes, you know what? Not even a great day. If you're not having a great day, if you're going through some hard times, if you're going through some rough shit, just get through the day. Just get through the day. I know sometimes I can come off as overtly positive, or I know some people are like, oh, I'm going through a lot of time. Stop telling me to have a great day. Just get through the day. That'll be a win. Have a solid day. Have a good day. I just hope everything goes smoother for you than whatever it is you're going through. So I'm hoping that for you, man. But guys, we're going to get into today's docket. Kind of a lighter docket today because yesterday's practice was really a light walkthrough. It was like just a tick above walkthrough from the reports I've been seeing. But here are some of the things that have come out of the report. So first thing first, some updates, guys, in terms of injuries. So T-Mac, he did sit out practice with a sore hamstring, but they say imaging is fine. There's no issues. Like, he is going to be okay. He is possibly going to sit out of the game this week. They have put that out there, so just keep that in mind. Great news. Scorton has made major improvement and was running yesterday at practice. I am so happy to hear that. They say he was running at practice. He's not going to play this week. Understandably so. I don't think any of us really are surprised that he's not going to be playing this week, anything like that. But I'm so glad that the young man has made significant improvement, that he's already running back at practice, getting himself back together. That bodes positive signs. A collapsed lung scares me, man. A collapsed lung honestly scares me, so I'm happy to see that. And then Andy Dalton, apparently his elbow injury is listed as mild, and Coach Canales said if this were the regular season, Andy Dalton would be available. So that, I'll be honest, that kind of lends me to wonder then why did Carolina signed Bryce Perkins, unless they're signing him to replace Jack Plummer, which, I mean, that's definitely a possibility. It just throws me off guard because this signing wasn't even anything on anybody's radar up until Andy Dalton was listed as injured. So it kind of made me wonder, okay, Andy Dalton's injury is probably going to last a while, but if he is listed as mild and would be available if this were the regular season, why go out and just sign another quarterback unless they're planning on having Perkins potentially replace Jake Plummer. Jake Plummer or Jack Plummer? I keep saying Jake and Jack. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Plummer. Hold up. Let me do right by you, boy. Hold up. Yep, Jack. I'm sorry, Jack. If I said Jake a couple times, I greatly apologize. I just know it was a J-A name that had a like K sound sometimes. It be like that, bro. It be like that. I'm human. I make mistakes. I'm sorry. But yeah, Jack Plummer could be replaced there. Unless Perkins balls out in the final preseason game, I don't see it. Maybe they want to keep 3-4 QBs. I don't know. Hey, you know, Carolina, sometimes they do some weird moves and move in different ways. J.C. Horn officially had his stitches removed, which is a good sign. And like I said, Bryce Perkins has arrived at practice, and honestly, he looked good. He looked good. I saw a pass that he had to Jimmy Horn Jr. He caught Jimmy in stride, which, you know, for Jimmy's speed, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, but hey, everything looked good, so on and so forth. So those have been the updates that have come out of practice. Nothing too significant yet, and nothing that has really been eye-popping, so to speak. And speaking of Bryce Perkins, obviously you're going to ask the question, who is this guy that Carolina signed? Because some of y'all might not have known him. I'll be honest. I didn't really know him like that. So, had to go do my research. And this is quarterback that Carolina signed. So, Bryce Perkins, he was the 2025 UFL MVP. In 14 games, he had 14 TDs, 3 interceptions, 1,918 yards, and also had 350 rushing yards and 6 rushing TDs as well. And he led his team to the championship game in the UFL, which, hey, congrats. Hey, listen, give him a big whoop up to him, man. Big whoop up to him. He also did spend some time with the LA Rams back from 2020 to 2022. He played in 5 games and started in 1, so he has some NFL experience. He played his college ball. He did play his college ball at Arizona State, Arizona Western, and UVA. And then in the NCAA, my man's had 47 touchdowns. In his NCAA career, he had 47 touchdowns, 21 interceptions, 6,218 passing yards in 28 total games. So the man balled out. He did his thing, held his own, could definitely hold his own there. And overall, I'm not saying it's a bad signing. I don't think it's a bad signing. It's more just a roster fill signing if you needed another quarterback. And hey, that's go get the UFL MVP. If you go to the UFL, get the best guy available. And obviously, because it was the first day of practice, everybody was wondering how he felt. And here's what Perkins had to say. He said, it's good when you get the practice script, you get the game plans, and you can do a pretty good job of learning the basics of everything. I was in LA for a few years, so kind of similar stuff carries over, just different names. The biggest focus is just getting the basics, get the call right, know where you're going, and then once you feel comfortable with that, we'll see how down packed I can get it before Thursday to be able to feel confident about playing off of different things and different nuances within the game scheme. So, and what he means by that partially is due to the fact that when he was in LA, he's playing under Sean McVay. And Sean McVay is known for having really, really long play calls. If you've ever seen documentaries about the Rams and their play calls and things of that nature, it's crazy. So, him going from LA's play calling to the UFL to now with Carolina, just getting in rhythm real quick, that's honestly what he's trying to do. And crazy enough, hey, I hope he's able to. I hope he's able to be successful. And at the end of the day, I hope he has the fortitude to go forward. And even if he doesn't stay with us, I honestly hope the young man gets another shot at the NFL and another team picks him up because they need a quarterback. If he stays with us, awesome. If he stays with us, awesome. I'm not against it. However, I am against having 4 quarterbacks in the room. I think that'd be weird. So I guess Jack Plummer or Dalton would have to go. Maybe. Probably Jack. It'd probably be Jack. Nothing against Jack. I don't hate Jack by any means whatsoever. I really don't. I just think that's what would happen. But Bryce would have to have a phenomenal game on Thursday in order to do so. He really would. So we'll see how that goes, man. We'll see how that goes. And then thirdly, guys, I want to talk to y'all about something real quick. And I ain't got no graphics really for this one, but exploring the options to trade for Trey Hendrickson. And I was looking in the comments. We saw a lot of them. I saw a lot of them for sure. And a number of you didn't like the idea that I wasn't on board with trading Adam Thielen. Now, I did say I'm not on board with trading Adam Thielen before the season because Adam Thielen has been Bryce Young's continuity security blanket for the last 2 years. That's the truth of the matter. That is the truth of the matter. Adam Thielen's been here longer than anybody for Bryce Young. So because of that, and because of how savvy he is, and yes, he may be planning to retire, but he is still good. We're not going to sit there and act like Adam Thielen ain't that guy still. But the man wants to retire while he's still able to do what he can and spend time with his kids. So, hence why I say he is a mid-season trade deadline trade. If we're going to trade him, I'm not off the trade Adam Thielen train at all. I am off of the trade Adam Thielen trade before the start of the season. That's what I don't want to do. That's really what I don't want. I do believe if it is the middle of the year and our year ends up being washed, trade him to a contender because let's just give him the respect and give him a chance to go get a title somewhere. Trade him for a contender, get the assets, and focus the second half of the season on rebuilding. Please understand that. Now, defensive linemen, oh, yeah. We got defensive ends out the wazoo. We can get rid of them. And then somebody brought up about me trading Thielen, and they said, I kept reiterating Hendrickson's contract, and Adam Thielen would open that up. Okay. If we trade away Adam Thielen, and that's a full $10 million, as the numbers the gentleman put, he said it's about $20 million in cap room. We have $18 million in cap room. Adam Thielen, if he's at $10 million, that's $28 million, not $30 million. Hendrickson's going to want a $32 million contract because that's what he is. That's what he's at. Right now, that's what he's on. That's still over the cap. And then not only that, you got to think, you have to commit to Hendrickson for at least 4 years because he's not going to sit there and stay on a 1-year deal. He's not. That's a big chunk of the change right there with Hendrickson, considering we already have J.C. Horn locked up for a while. Considering you're going to end up having to re-sign players here soon, especially flipping, I want to say, Chuba got re-signed. Yeah, Chuba already got re-signed. So you're going to have to start re-signing players soon. And if all of that's already allocated to Hendrickson, that's what I'm saying is putting Carolina in a huge financial hole, because we're going to end up being back in the same position where we have one great star player, but the rest of the supporting cast is garbage. Because you also got to think, we already signed Morick too. That's another hit on the cap that we got to play for a while. Hopefully it pays off and things of that nature. But I'm thinking big picture, personally. Again, is Trey Hendrickson worth it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Talent-wise, Trey Hendrickson is worth it. But if we're going to do it, this is the game you got to think down the line. Financially, where is Carolina going to be? And in my mind, if we trade for Trey Hendrickson, that means in about 2 to 3 years, maybe even a year, we're going to be scrambling to try and fill all the spots with quality players. And we're not going to be able to get as many quality players as we want. And going through the draft, yeah, you might hit it out the park. You might miss a lot too, if we're just being honest. Because you might hit it out the park, you might miss. That's a 50-50 chance that you're taking. Plus, you also got to take into account who comes out in what draft class. If Carolina, for example, is banking on, I'll say, Davian Gauss from UNC, the running back from UNC, right? They're banking on him to come out in the draft to support Chuba Hubbard, and then he decides to stay for an extra year. Boom, now Carolina's scrambling to find another guy, picks a guy who may not be who Carolina initially wanted, but guess what? Now they end up drafting him, and he ends up being a bust. Now we're in a whole hole. Davian Gauss goes next year, he goes to a different team. You see what I'm saying? It's twofold. It could hit out the park, and y'all could be right, and we hit on every draft pick, or it could go badly, and it just not flow. But I think we're all in agreement. A D lineman definitely has to go in this trade draft. I did see someone bring up trading David Moore with Wanham and draft picks. And I'm like, hey, I mean, it makes sense. But I get where you guys are coming from, though. Because Adam Thielen is at the end of his career, I understand why a lot of you say trade Thielen, and I personally am against it. But the logic that y'all are speaking, 100%. Let me please be clear about that. No, I do not think anybody who says trade Adam Thielen is dumb for making that decision. Because your perspective is, hey, Thielen's at the end of his career. Let's get the most out of him now for assets and things of that nature. Get him off the books, and we are good. I understand that. I completely understand that. I personally am not, because for our offensive continuity purpose, I'm thinking Thielen is one of the best aspects of our offense. And if we're trying to build and continue to move forward in progression, we need him to do that even if he is at the end of his career. Even if he is on his last step. Even if he is on his last steps. Adam Thielen on his last steps is better than a lot of receivers right now in their prime. Let's call it for what it is. Let's be honest. Adam Thielen right now is better than a lot of receivers who are in the league right now in their prime years. Truth be told. And because of that, and we're always talking about chemistry, I have a strong feeling Adam Thielen wants to keep that chemistry for Bryce and also help build the foundation of these young receivers. Because when we take away Adam Thielen, who's our oldest receiver? Outside of Renfro, who just signed. Before we even knew we were signing Renfro, you would have been looking at a room with T-Mac, Xavier, Jimmy, David Moore, Bryson Tremaine. You see what I'm saying? That I value that veteran presence a lot. I really do. I really do. That veteran presence helps so much. But I get why y'all want to go just fully send on the youth in that commitment. I really do. I understand that. So I'm not saying, again, not saying none of y'all are wrong for wanting to trade Thielen because I see what vision you're on. I just personally am not on the trade Thielen before the season vision like y'all. I am, if we're going to trade Thielen, make it at the trade deadline. That way there's at least evidence to show, hey, Adam, this ain't where you want to be. Let's get you up out of here. Let's get the assets we can. Because there's going to be a team who is in playoff contention who needs a Adam Thielen. And they're going to be desperate to give up what they can to get an Adam Thielen. So that's my mindset. And then next, I want to go into the Panther freeze frame of the day. And this made me laugh. Why is Corbett... Nani? Corbett out here taking snaps with Andy Dalton. What is this? What is this, bro? This made me laugh so much because I was like, what is... I was like, not Corbett out here taking snaps, and this was at practice. So to me, it's hilarious. I think it's a great photo. Maybe he's trying to figure out what Dalton and Bryson them go through. Be like, this is how it feels. All right, let me tighten my game up. Let me tighten my game up. And then lastly, as always, guys, y'all know what time it is. Time for Panther Nation to speak y'all truth, where I read y'all comments and see what y'all have to say here in the Panther Nation. And first one comes up is Swampy B-Man 7741. It says, nice positive spin, but the real deal is the Panthers are hurting. Yeah, I know about the Lions and other teams that have had weak preseason and still go on and get to the playoffs deep in them, but to hint that this team will surpass 10 wins is stretching it thin. We should look at the positions depth which ought to shine. Ours presents itself as dull met. Texas used its depth also. No more BS trying to sell a dead horse for a race. I'm surprised they don't sign a 5-foot tight end. Look for another draft pick under number 10 next April. I mean, if y'all listen, man, I don't understand why y'all. Let me put it like this. A lot of teams already crap on us as it is, bro. A lot of teams already crap on us as it is. So why are we crapping on our team for some exhibition games when the real games have yet to be played? And a lot of us have said 10 wins is the max. You can win the NFC South with 10 wins. Once you get into the playoffs, that's making a deep run. 11, 12, listen, anything's possible. When we had 2023, I want to say, it was 2023, we ended up firing Rule and got Steve Wilkes. Remember, we were one game away from making the playoffs and still in the South. Still in the South, and we were on the rise, bro. We were doing great. Last year, as bad as we started, 5-12. If you had told me we were going to finish 5-12, especially the way we finished the year, I wouldn't have believed you. So to sit there and take the preseason games in the last couple of years and just like, yep, we're going to be bad automatically, I just don't see it. We're not going to be a top 10 draft pick. I definitely will disagree with you there. We're not going to be a top 10 draft pick. No, I 100% disagree there. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be that pessimistic of a person. Number 2 comes up from Incatul. I'm going to say it like that. Says, I think Analysis and Young's corny, all shucks energy is demoralizing the locker room. It feels dishonest, inappropriate, and uncomfortable. What? Wait, what? It feels dishonest, inappropriate, uncomfortable. All right, that's So how do you want them to act then, bro? Like, because they generally are optimistic, they aren't cousin up the story. I'd rather have a Bryce Young than a Terrell Owens every day of the week. Like, I gladly will take a coach that's always trying to find the positive in something. It's what's inappropriate about it. Like, I need you to elaborate on this one, because if you want to say it feels dishonest, all right, whatever. Inappropriate, that's weird. I can't agree with that. Uncomfortable. Have you been around a lot of negative locker rooms that just, and I guess maybe you want like guys who are quote unquote dogs all the time and always have this like aggression factor to them. Not everybody's like that, but that doesn't mean everybody is not a killer. For example, Steph Curry, for a long time, people were just like, oh, he's mild-mannered. He was the baby-faced assassin for a reason. But the man could kill you for 30. But if you sat there and said he had the same aggression like a Jordan, a LeBron, or a Kobe in terms of the manner, you wouldn't think that. But the man could go give you buckets. Ray Allen was the same way. Ray Allen, you don't picture as like this talk ish, but Ray Allen will kill you. Luka doesn't strike you as that. So I know it's a different sport, but that's where I'm getting that. That's the correlation I have there. And I'm sick and tired of this. Now it wants to bright out. Whatever. And then lastly, comes from Daryl Miyashiro, 8828, says, what about 0-4 in the preseason? Turns into 5-12 regular season. That's last year. Daryl, I want to let you know we actually went 1-2 in the preseason last year. We didn't go winless. We didn't go winless the year before that. So 0-4 in the preseason. We haven't gone winless in a good amount of time in the preseason. So yeah, we went 1-2 last year, finished 5-12. Went 1-2 last year, went 2-15. So we go 1-2 this year. To me, the trend tells me we're going to do better. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Like, we finished 1-2 this year, we're going to do better. But guys, that's all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the bottom so you can always be notified of when these videos are dropping. Next, comment below and let me know, what are your thoughts on some of the injuries coming up? Like, how do you feel about these injuries that have kind of been piling up? Are you kind of iffy or not? What do you think about the Bryce Perkins signing? And y'all let me know. Like, fully in the comments, let me know. What is your trade package for Trey Hendrickson? Fully, like, I want to detail, like, who do we give up? Who do they give up? Put them in the comment section below because I really want to see where y'all thought process is. And if you can, if you feel like it, elaborate why you're thinking this trade. Like, all right, here's why I want this trade. Like, I think that Young would be a great asset to get rid of because this is what I pictured for Carolina's future, blase, 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 blase. Let me know in the comment section below because at the end of the day, guys, what do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace, brother to all of you. Take care, Panther Nation. Later days, and as always, keep pounding. I'll see you next time.